Hello Sagittarius, welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Sagittarius is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your reading. Please hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. And if there is anything you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger. And I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Sagittarius, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And here we have the Queen of Swords. Interesting. There is some clarity, some new angle of looking at things here. Let's put it into some context. Let's see what's going on here. Got a Hanged Man. Interesting. The Queen of Pentacles, an Eight of Cups. Ooh, a Nine of Wands. The Hierophant. The Star. We've got the Prince of Wands, the Eon card, or the Judgment card, and the Ten of Swords. Interesting. Interesting, interesting. Let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is one random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot that we will just put over here. We'll put Alien, Simon Mark Ripley right there on top. Now, we're not going to look at that card until the very end, but it will tie everything together and it will give us the confirmation that we need. If at any point during the reading you feel like you know what that card is, I want you to put your prediction in the comments below. Okay? Let's do it as a group exercise, right? Let's exercise our intuition. Okay? But first, let's take a look at what we've got here. Because we have major, 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 major. Okay? We've got some fire. We've got some water, and even the Hanged Man kind of has this water vibe. We have some air in these two, and we've got our earth not only here but also in the Hierophant, right? There's some good Taurus energy here. So let's see what is going on right now. This is that Queen of Swords. I think you're getting a higher perspective about something. And what I think this figure is looking at is probably that Eight of Cups back there, right? Getting a rising above the difficulties and seeing what's actually going on, right? Getting that kind of bird's eye view of things. Taking a step back from the day-to-day fluctuations of emotion, right? And seeing the bigger picture here, right? Perhaps seeing how everything fits into the puzzle, right? And to do that, we have to be very honest with ourselves. We have to try to be objective, okay? Because I think the alternative really is to get mired in all of this kind of a negative water energy, negative emotions, okay? With the Hanged Man here, there's an idea of acceptance. And it could either be like we are immersing ourselves in this feeling and we're going to kind of get stuck there. We're accepting and moving on, right? Accepting that this Eight of Cups happened. And, we're getting a different perspective on it. We're seeing it for what it is. And we're able to move forward, okay? Now, the Eight of Cups, I think, it's a situation that you were at one time very excited about, very enthusiastic about it, very much in love. You were very optimistic. It felt very good. I think for some reason or another, that hope started draining, right? The cup started to look half empty rather than half full. And it could be that you realize that a certain situation or environment or relationship just wasn't meant for you anymore. right? It may have started out very good, very exciting, but then you started to kind of see that your heart just wasn't in it. Okay, could be a career, could be a job, could be anything. Okay, and it took, I think, a lot of courage to see things from this higher perspective, right? While it does kind of not feel good, you can see how it's much better to know that this wasn't for you and to move on than to kind of be mired in the loss of that, right? The water energy draining out, that feeling, that's not a good feeling, right? But it's much better to know that than to kind of be stuck in that situation, kind of wondering why it's not working, wondering why it doesn't feel the right way anymore. But looking at things from a different perspective, we can see that it's just not meant for us anymore, right? That's a situation that has run its course, And so there's a certain strength, certain courage that is required for you to see things this way, And this is what's going on with you. And there's an acceptance of it. The Hanged Man is kind of saying, yeah, it sucks, but, that's Dallas, right? That's the way things go. It's a lot of trust. This is kind of a trust fall with the universe, right? Saying, I'm realizing that this past thing wasn't meant for me, and I'm just going to have to fall into the universe and trust that, trust that I'm being led in the right direction. And I think you are. We've got this star energy down here, okay? So it is that you're kind of just closing your eyes, putting your hands up, and leaning back. And the universe is saying, I've got you. Right? I've got you. Going right into the arms of the Hierophant. Now, the Hierophant is some really good earth energy, really stable, right? And I kind of feel like this is a very practical way. Everything you need is going to be there for you, I think that whether it's resources, whether it's support, friendship, family, the right opportunities, the right connections, the right networks, the right timing, I think everything is going to be right where you need it, okay? And it is mainly a matter of the Hanged Man, of that kind of trust fall. We're not going to cling to this Eight of Cups. We're not going to cling to what wasn't working. We're getting the perspective that this wasn't meant for us, so there's no point in trying to fix it, trying to force it, right? We're going to let go of that, and we're going to accept this unknown future, accept that the Hierophant will catch us, right? And things will be there as we need them, that we will get everything we need going forward, right? It takes a lot of strength and courage to do that. That's my cat upstairs. It takes a lot of strength and courage to do that. Here is the Nine of Wands. And this is our ability, I think, to connect our conscious mind with our intuition, to connect really with our star here, essentially, right? And this is the strength that fuels, obviously, the Queen of Swords. Because the Queen of Swords has that water and air component, right? It's the Queen of Swords. It's air and water. It's getting a higher perspective, an objective view of what the heart is feeling, okay? And not trying to judge it or change it, but to understand it so that you can move forward. You can see things for what they are. And this is kind of the same thing. It's the conscious mind connecting with maybe the unconscious mind, the subtle, the heart, right? The deeper feelings, the real desires, the real will here, okay? The kind of lunar energy. And I think that you are understanding how to listen to yourself. You're figuring out, how to use that kind of communication, that connection with yourself as strength. Right? Because I think a lot of us would see a situation like an Eight of Cups, and we would desperately try to refill these cups with water. Right? It's kind of like the reverse of like bailing out a boat. Right? We're trying to put the water back in as quick as we can. But there's a certain poise. There's a certain almost a stoicism here, right? Where you can see from a perspective above this fluctuating water energy. And you've got the strength and the self-awareness to know that this just isn't for me, and I need to move forward. Now, we've got the Queen of Pentacles down beneath everything. And I think that this is your ability to kind of learn from your past. This is being able to distill the wisdom from the past in order to move toward the future, to understand what we need, to understand, to recognize the abundance and the opportunities that are around us. If we know what we need, then we know what we're looking for in the environment. And that's kind of what the Hierophant has. The Hierophant almost has all of the wisdom in the world. You just have to ask the right questions. Has all of the abundance in the world. You just need to know what it is that what you need to know what to ask for, So you have an ability to learn from your past situations. And this is kind of a card that is almost learning what you don't need, right? So that you can understand what you do need, moving forward. So it's really nice to have this Hierophant to catch us, to catch this hanged man, I'd like to go to the path of the Serpent now because I want to talk about this Star card. And as I do this, I'll ask for your subscription. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do so. Leave me a comment, hit the like button. I appreciate that. All right. Okay, so the Star. This is your sense of purpose and destiny. This is you trying to receive the wisdom from above, the divine energy, the spiritual download, whatever you want to call it. This is the clarity that you need to understand what's going on here. Why was this not meant for you? What about this wasn't meant for you, right? What is it that you need to learn from this experience so that you can recognize what you need in the future, what to ask for from the universe, so to speak? Right? We have to understand what our star is. And now, the star is kind of a very vague and distant, shimmering little point of light way out in the sky, right? We can't see it that clearly. It could be that this is a little bit of a telescope, allows us to see our path a little bit more clearly, but it's still rather vague. It still requires a lot of faith, right? A lot of belief even that this thing is out there and that it's got our name on it. The more we do this work, I think the closer this star will get. And we'll begin to understand better and better, more and more, what our path is, what our destiny is, what our work should be. But it's not even really about the destination. It's not about what we're doing, but the how and why we're doing it, right? It wasn't that being here in this place wasn't meant for you, but there was some dynamic here that wasn't working out. Maybe it was a job, maybe this was a path you were on, a creative project. It could be a relationship, whatever it was, a friendship. It's not that you and this person were wrong in some way, but there was something with the dynamic. It was something about the how and the why. Okay? So it's not so much about the what. The what, I think, is going to be provided by the Hierophant. in all honesty. Everything that you need, everything that is meant for you, because in some ways you can think about it as everything is meant for you. But the why and the how, if we can't figure that out, if we can't harmonize the dynamic between us and everything else, we're going to have dysfunction. We're going to have this Eight of Cups, and we're going to have to try again. It's kind of a lesson that we're trying to learn moving forward, right? So we move forward, and everything we need is going to be right there. The Hierophant is going to have the next thing, the next situation, the next project, the next person path, the next job, the next whatever. And it may seem totally different than the one we had before, but in essence, it's not. Because it still is going to require us to interact with it. And that's what we're trying to discover. See, it's not about the star itself. It's about the light coming from the star. What is it teaching us? What is it informing us? It's not about getting to that final destination. It's about the discernment of the path itself, the experience of the path itself. Okay. And we see that reflected in the very next card, too, with this Prince of Wands, in the environment. This is activity. This is the doing of the thing. It's not earth energy. It's not the Prince of Pentacles. It's the Prince of Wands. It's fire. Right? This is our activity. And it's time for action. It's time to, again, not get mired in the feeling of this, or the sorrow, or the sadness, or the lamentation. Not to let this weigh us down, but try to figure out what it is that we need to learn from that situation so that we can take advantage of what is coming next. So we're on this constant path of trying to refine our interactions with everything in the environment, everything around us, right? All of the earth energy. So in essence, yes, everything that you need is coming. Everything that you need is being given to you by this Hierophant. But we need to figure out how we're supposed to use it and why. Right? Every situation, every encounter, every event, every feeling. So it is time for action, and this is a big contrast between the Eight of Cups, right? This is water and this is fire. We need to keep moving, you know. The next card being the Judgment or Eon card. This is a doorway, right? This is a path to a new level of existence for you. And I think this is it's almost the Stargate, right? This is almost the card that's going to transport us directly in front of this star, up close and personal, right? Maybe the mystery card will be a sun card. But it's going to take us right there, where you can't miss. Even if you tried, you could not miss receiving the light from that star. You know, there's nowhere to hide from it. When it's still here, it's way out in the distance. We're going to miss it. We're not going to really understand it. But if you get right there, right up close and personal, and it's in your face, there's no way to avoid it. Right? It's blunt. So I feel like we're trying to kind of avoid that in a way. Right? This card's in the position of what we don't want. So there is, I think, a reluctance or an apprehension for us to go through this gateway, right? We've had the Eon card a lot for Sagittarius, especially with our 11/11 portal readings. It seems there's still a reluctance to get closer to what it is that we're meant to learn or understand or receive. You know, and maybe it's an issue with kind of trusting the process, trusting the universe. You know, there's still that part of us that just says, I don't fully trust this, I don't fully understand this, so I'm gonna pull back. Okay, could be we're still in the mode of trying to fix whatever this was, instead of letting this go and moving forward into what's coming next. Okay? Because what's coming next is exactly what you need right now. So on the other side of this then is the 10 of Swords. And I'm getting a feeling like the 10 of Swords is finally us understanding how everything fits together. I've had a lot of readings for Sagittarius because there's something that you're moving toward, but I feel like we're getting a little bit closer, and then we get kind of thrown off track. Right? Then we get a little bit closer, and then there's another bump in the road or something. You know? But what we're going toward is this, and this I think is the real breakthrough in your perception, a breakthrough in your understanding of your own life and your own path, and your own dynamic and interaction with the universe. This is seeing how everything fits together for you. And I think there is a major plan for you. We're just having, I think, a difficulty putting all the pieces together. And it could be that we're hoping to get all of the pieces and put it together before we can accept it. You know, so there's this hanged man issue again, where we're not ready to just kind of trust it. We want all the facts first. Give me the full report on it, and then I'll make a decision, right? And I don't think Spirit is working that way. I think there is this idea of needing to trust in, you know, whatever you consider to be the higher power in the universe, you know, because there is something that you're meant for. Yeah. There is a plan here. And it kind of feels like there's a little bit of apprehension, and maybe the apprehension is exacerbated by these little roadblocks, by these bumps in the road, by these kinds of, you know, unharmonious interactions, for lack of a better term, that add to our apprehension, because this gateway is still here for you, but it's what we're trying to avoid. So it feels like there's a reluctance for you to accept, you know, the destiny, the spiritual download that's coming your way. Maybe we're just having difficulty deciphering what this is telling us. You know. Let's look at the mystery card. Yeah. You see what that. I don't know what this is going to be. I would say, you know, like a 6 of Cups or something, but I feel like that's just going to be temporary. That's just like, you know, putting a Band-Aid on a deeper wound. That is just temporarily fixing this problem, but not getting to the real heart of the matter. So I don't want really any water energy. I don't think that's going to be useful. I don't think that's really going to confirm anything. I think perhaps I want some earth energy. You know, I feel like maybe a Knight of Pentacles, because we have the Queen here that's trying to understand what the lesson in this was. And that wisdom, that understanding of the lesson is what then you can project forward. But we don't see that projection. We see what's in the future, but we're not looking that way. We're still looking at this past thing. We need to look at all of the abundance and all of the wisdom and the support that's, well, in front of us, but you know, right behind us, kind of, right? So I'm thinking some earth energy here of some kind. Maybe it will be the Hierophant again. Maybe the World card or Universe card. If you have an idea, put it in the comments below. Let's see what we have. Well, it is earth energy. It's not the Hierophant, though. It is the 10 of Pentacles. The 10 of Pentacles is kind of telling me that, look, you're going to have everything that you need. So you can let go of this. You can let go of this without worry, without anxiety. Everything you need is right behind you. And the Hierophant's here saying, look, I've got this big this big bowl, this big presentation for you, but you're just not turning and looking. You know? And the Hierophant's going to be silent and wait for you to turn around and look at it. You know? Everything you need. This is all of the resources, all of the abundance that you need. Everything that is required for you right now. Everything that, all of the resources, all of the raw material, so to speak, you know? And I think it really is just a matter of shifting our focus, of utilizing these two. And there's a reason why these two are front and center, right? Because we're paying too much attention to the past and that Eight of Cups, that the Queen of Pentacles is not turning around and, oh, there's the Hierophant with all of these resources, all of these gifts for you. The next thing, here's a bunch of stuff. Figure out what to do with it, right? It's like just a bunch of parts and you got to build something. All of the puzzle pieces here, because it's the Ten of Pentacles. This is also the picture of your best life, the picture of your destiny. This is what the Knight of Pentacles is seeing as he gazes out into the distance. This is the future. And it seems like the future's right now. You just got to turn around and look, and it's going to be right there. Everything you need is coming. Everything you need is right behind you, you know, or in front of you, I guess, however you want to look at it. We're going to look at an extended reading, Sagittarius. If you want to stick around, click on the link in the corner. That'll give you access to all of your extended readings, not just for Sagittarius, but for all signs. Okay, you can cross-watch, you can check your other placements, maybe take a look at the Taurus reading, or the Aquarius reading because of the star card here. Okay. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you, and we're all in this together.